You ready? Indeed, indeed. Fadda Abdul Qawi.
He said 6:30 to class. That's really right. On the live yesterday. He said the class starts at 6:30.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Come in front of the camera. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Last class, yesterday, we were doing hadith number 628, right, Khalid? 628, correct? From Bulugh-Maram. It's one of the older copies that I have had over the years, alhamdulillah. The one that I prefer, myself, instead of the newer, modern day ones. Hunak Aqdam. There are ones that are older than that. Tayyib. Hadith number 628. In this version of the book, the ahadith are numbered according to the chapter. Alright? And it is here, hadith number 20, the 20th hadith of the chapter. Al-Hafidh ibn Hajar rahimahullah, Kitab as-Siyam. He says, وَعَنْ أَبِي هُرَيْرَةَ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُ قَالَ قَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم من ذرعه القيء فلا قضاء عليه ومن استقاع فعليه القضاء رواه الخمسة وعله أحمد وقواه الدارقطني. The Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم, he says in this hadith, he's quoted to have said in this hadith, من ذرعه القيء, he who vomits, or spits up, and obviously the different usages of the term in English, regurgitating, doing it intentionally, unintentionally. Al-Muhim, your stomach is upset and you spit up, you vomit, or you say you hurl, right? Colloquial term, right? You spit up, huh? Right, Khalid? Focus in your prayer. Khushu'. It's a very important thing in the month of Ramadan. Man dhara'ahu al-qay'. Your stomach is so upset, you become so nauseous that you what? What's in your belly comes out of your mouth, right? It says, فَلَا قَضَاءَ عَلَيْهِ. Then there's nothing that you have to make up. You do not have to make up that day. Your fast, i.e., isn't broken. وَمَنْ اسْتَقَاءَ. And he who makes himself spit up, he induces himself to vomit, to regurgitate, or whatever the case may be, فَعَلَيْهِ الْقَضَاء. Then he has to what? Make up that day, i.e., his fast was broken. The author Ibn Hajar rahimahullah, he says this hadith is collected by al-Khamsa, the five. What's meant by al-Khamsa, Khalid? In Bulugh-Maram, when he says al-Khamsa, the five. Who are the five? Abdul Qawi, who are the five? La, not Bukhari, or Muslim. Who are the five? The five Imams. Imam Ma'sumin, huh? Exempt Imams, Shia Imams, what? Who are the five? Who are the five? Khalid, who are the five? Man al-Khamsa. Man hum al-Khamsa. You gotta know the terminology of the book that you're reading, right? You have to know the istilah of the author whose book you're reading. He says, Rawahul Khamsa, Imam Ahmed and Ashab al-Sunan al-Arba'a. Okay? They collected this hadith. وَعَلَّهُ Ahmed. And Imam Ahmed declared this hadith to be ma'lul. He said this hadith is not authentic. It's غير صحيح. And Imam ad-Daraqutni rahimahullah, قَوَّاهُ. He said it's qawi, it's strong. He said it's strong. So what do we learn from this hadith? Or what is this hadith used for? What do the fuqaha use this hadith for? They use this hadith to prove or to establish what ruling? Omar? Huh?
Something that's natural and vomiting.
Does vomiting break the fast or not?
No.
Simple. Simple or not simple? هذا هو. This hadith is used by those scholars who say that if you do something involuntarily, you spit up, it's not your choice, then your fast is still what? Valid. A little bit, a lot, you tasted the food, the acid in your mouth or not. Man ذرعه القيء. But he who does it intentionally, by sticking his finger down his throat, or taking something, or going on a crazy boat ride, intentionally with the intention of throwing up, then alayhi al-qada. Then he has to do what? Meaning that his fast was broken. So that is the mas'ala fiqhiyya pertaining to this hadith. Everyone understand this or not? Imam Ahmad rahimahullah and Imam ad-Darqutni rahimahullah ta'ala, they had conflicting views on whether this hadith is authentic or not. Everybody clear on this or not? So that is the main lesson to be taken from that hadith, whether it's sahih or not. Is that what? Spitting up, vomiting by accident without your choice does not break the fast. And doing it intentionally does what? Break the fast. Tayyib. Everybody clear on this or not?
No.
Tayyib. Once more, if a person's stomach is upset, you had something bad for suhoor, you got food poisoning, something didn't agree with your stomach, and you started spitting up after Fajr. You spit up a lot. All the food came out. You tasted the food. It came out of your mouth, out of your belly, out your mouth. Based off this hadith, your fast would be what? Valid. Your fast would be valid. And based off of this hadith, if you did that intentionally, your fast would be invalid. هذا هو.
But the question is, how many fasts do you make up for? 60 days?
No. Just one day.
Because it's intentional.
One day. It's not the same. One day.
It's different.
It's different. It's not the same as intercourse or other things like that. طيب. Sanani rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, والحديث دليل على أنه لا يفطر بالقيء الغالب لقوله فلا قضاء عليه إذ عدم القضاء فرع الصحة وعلى أنه يفطر من طلب القيء واستجلبه وظاهره وإن لم يخرج له قيء لأمره بالقضاء ونقل ابن المنذر الإجماع على أن من تعمد القيء يفطر قلت ولكنه روي عن ابن عباس ومالك وربيعة والهادي أن القيء لا يفطر مطلقا إلا إذا رجع منه شيء فإنه يفطر وحجته ما أخرجه الترمذي والبيهقي بإسناد ضعيف ثلاث يفطرن القيء والحجامة والاحتلام ويجاب بحمله على من ذرعه القيء جمعا بين الأدلة وحمل للعام على الخاص على أن العام غير صحيح والخاص أرجح منه سندا فالعمل به أولى وإن عارضته البراءة الأصلية. The commentator goes on to mention some of the kalam of the ulama with regards to vomiting. Does it break the fast or not? Even if a person vomits and food returns back, you swallow it into your throat, into your belly, your stomach, that's a different issue. So let's say, for example, a person just what? He vomited. And that's it. Everything came out. Or if a person intentionally did it and nothing came out, but something what came up and he did what? Swallowed it again. Everyone understand the difference here? Everyone understand the difference? Clear or not? Tayyib. So Sanani rahimahullah, he says here, he says the reason that there's no qada, فَلَا قَضَى عَلَيْهِ, there's no making up of the day, that is a branch of what? If you don't have to make up the day, then that is a subsidiary issue of validity. You only have to make up a day because something wasn't valid. It was done, but it wasn't valid. You have to make up the day. Everyone understand this? You ate, making up the day. For example, for argument's sake, a woman fasted when she was menstruating. She has to what? Make up the day. Because the fast wasn't sahih. So when the Prophet says there's no qada, you don't have to make up, that's based off of the first argument, which the fast was valid. Everyone understand that? How to systematically break down the hadiths and understand them. Understand this? How to systematically have the what? The proper understanding of the what? Of the sunnah. Tayyib? And this, if this style is used in another hadith, speaking about another issue, then the ruling will be the what? The same. If a person says that the Prophet said, argument's sake, you don't have to make up your hajj, that proves hajj was valid. You don't have to renew your marriage contract, proving that the marriage contract was valid. Everyone understand this? You don't have to take off your socks and wash your feet again. Proving that. Why? Okay, that. Everyone understand how beneficial the principle can be applied, and it's a benefit for you in your daily life. And you can understand 20 hadiths based off of understanding. One. From one thing you learn what? Don't be afraid to say it. 10,000 things. Khair inshallah. Moving forward. He discusses here what the ulama of Islam say regarding that issue. Next hadith. The author rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, وعن جابر بن عبد الله أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خرج عام الفتح إلى مكة في رمضان فصام حتى بلغ قراء الغميم فصام الناس ثم دعا بقدح من ماء فرفعه حتى نظر الناس إليه فشرب ثم قيل له بعد ذلك أن بعض الناس قد صام فقال أولئك العصاة وأولئك العصاة وفي لفظ فقيل له إن الناس قد شق عليهم الصيام وإنما ينتظرون فيما فعلت فدعا بقدح من ماء بعد العصر فشرب رواه مسلم. The next narration is reported by Jabir ibn Abdullah radiyallahu anhuma, who tells us a story. Not of the statement of the Prophet, but a story, something the Prophet physically did. And that was خرج عام الفتح إلى مكة. During the year of the conquest of Mecca, obviously he traveled to Mecca. What year was that? What year was Fath Mecca? 9th year, you say? طيب, back to the translation of the hadith. فصام, and he fasted. He was traveling, and then he did what? He did not break his what? He kept his fast. حتى بلغ قراء الغميم, until he reached a region, a place. He traveled far, and he reached a place. Then what took place? فصام الناس, and the people, they also kept their fast. ثم دعا بقدح من ماء فرفعه, and then he called for water. Please bring me some water. Bring me a goblet, bring me a water skin, bring me a wooden cup, bring me something of what? Of water. حتى نظر الناس إليه, and the people were looking at him. They clearly observed what he was doing. فشرب, drank the water. ثم قيل له بعد ذلك أن بعض الناس أو أن بعض الناس قد صام. And then after he drank the water, some of his companions informed him that there were people who kept their fast, and they did not follow you and take your example and emulate you in breaking your fast, but they're still keeping their what? Fast. Their fast. Thereupon the Prophet ﷺ said, أُولَٰئِكَ الْعُصَاةِ, they are the disobedient ones. أُولَٰئِكَ الْعُصَاةِ, they are the disobedient ones. Another version of this hadith says, it was said to him, إِنَّ النَّاسَ قَدْ شَقَّ عَلَيْهِمُ الصِّيَامِ, is that the people find it a hard thing to do. It's difficult for them to fast, traveling in the heat. It's very hard, okay? وَإِنَّمَا يَنْتَظِرُونَ فِي مَا فَعَلْتَ, and they are waiting for you. They're waiting to see what you're going to do. فَدَعَا بِقَدْحٍ مِّن مَاءٍ بَعْدَ الْعَصْرِ, so after the Asr prayer, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ called for the water. فَشَرِبَ, and he drank the water. And this hadith is collected by Imam Muslim. This hadith is collected by what? Imam Muslim in his Musnad. His Sahih Muslim. طيب. So the Prophet ﷺ, he went to travel, and then he kept his fast, and all of a sudden he did what? He broke his fast. And he wanted his companions to see him and take his example. Then when he was informed that people did not take his example, he censured those people and came down upon them. And he called them what? Disobedient. He called them what? Disobedient. Everyone understand this? The second version of the hadith states what? Is that the Prophet ﷺ, he did this when? Muhim jiddan. It wasn't before dhuhr. It wasn't early on in the daytime. And which a person may say, keep your fast, it's Asr time. Why break your fast now? You understand? He specifically is mentioned what? Ba'd al-Asr. After Asr prayer. And he still did what? Broke his fast. And the people were waiting to see what he was going to do, and it was difficult for them to keep their fast. Everyone understand this? So what does this hadith pertain to, Khalid? Traveling and fasting. Such as what? Ruling number 1. Is it valid to fast when traveling? Is it best to keep the fast while traveling? Is it best to break the fast while traveling.
Are you disobedient?
Is it permissible to break your fast late in the day? We're not answering the questions right now. Right now we're just what? Posting the questions, getting you to understand how to systematically conceptualize what's going on, what's being said. Everyone understand the difference? Everyone understand? So one may say it's permissible to break your fast when you travel. One may say it's best to break your fast when you travel, but not late in the day. One may say this. 10 a.m. you get thirsty, 12 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., but not when? Not after Asr. Why not? Because you should do what? Persevere. Others, they may say it's haram for you to break your fast after Asr. Once you reach PM, 12 p.m. is what? It's impermissible. Everyone understand this? Right. Everyone understand what's meant by this hadith? So that is the main fiqh ruling, or the main fiqh rulings that are to be extracted from this hadith and the fiqh arguments. Everyone understand this? So hadith can be used by this group and it can be used by what? Another group to support their position. Khairan inshallah. Before we move forward, we have the concept of modern day issues and modern means of travel. You're going at least 500 miles per hour in this Dreamliner, Boeing jet, high, hundreds of feet in the air, cutting through time zones. Okay? You're sitting in a soft, comfortable seat. You can adjust the air. You can call the server or the stewardess or whoever to bring you something, whatever you need. Everyone understand this? There's painkiller, there's drinks, there's food, so many things you can order. There's pillows, blankets, etc. So a person may make the argument and may say that traveling today is not what?
Difficult.
A hardship. You're not on a camel's back in the desert. You're not on a donkey or a mule. You're not walking on your feet. You're not in a boat up and down churning, your stomach churning, feeling like you want to throw up, seawater splashing on you. Everyone understand this? The difficulties and the hardships of traveling, one may argue, may say that they're either minimal or what?
None.
Non-existent. Everyone understand this? So, is it permissible? Question number one. If it is permissible, is it recommended to break your fast when you travel by plane or even by train? Somebody may say no. Everyone understand this? And they're going to base their argument off of these types of what? Narrations and text. The Prophet, he drank the water because it was what? Difficult for the people. You're on a plane, it's not necessarily difficult. And of course, we know there's a counter argument for that as well. There's a what? Counter argument. Somebody say, no, it is difficult, even to this day. Being held up, being harassed, missing your flight, sitting there, being very thirsty, you have something to do, something to teach, etc. Huh? Jarrad, y'all do, no doubt.
Yes, obvious.
Yeah. Bring that here. Let me see, what's that? A Danish? Jazakallah khairan. Shukran, may Allah bless you. Tayyib, moving forward. Assalamu alaikum, Jassim. MashaAllah. Siyam Jannah, huh? Alhamdulillah. Tayyib. So, we have the concept of traveling and fasting. Is it even valid to travel and fast? Is it permissible to break your fast when you travel? Etc. The commentator as-Sanani rahimahullah, he says regarding this hadith, الحديث دليل على أن المسافر له أن يصوم وله أن يفطر وأن له الإفطار وإن صام أكثر النهار. He says this hadith proves the following points. Number one, those who travel are between fasting or breaking their fast. It's optional. It is what? Optional. It's not obligatory to fast when you travel. He then says, وَلَهُ وَأَنَّ لَهُ الْإِفْطَارِ, and you can make iftar, you can break your fast even if you fasted most of the day. Even if you fasted what? Most of the day. That is also permissible. That's not haram. That's also what? Permissible. You understand this? You paying attention, Omar?
Yeah.
No, you're not. You can't be.
I am.
Moving forward. He says, وخالف في الطرف الأول داود والإمامية فقالوا لا يجزي المسافر الصوم لقوله تعالى فعدة من أيام أخر وبقوله أولئك العصاة ولقوله ليس من البر الصيام في السفر وخالفهم الجماهير فقالوا يجزئه صومه لفعله صلى الله عليه وسلم والآية لا دليل فيها على عدم الإجزاء. وقوله أولئك العصاة إنما هو لمخالفتهم لأمره بالإفطار وقد تعين عليهم. وفيه أنه ليس في الحديث أنه أمرهم، وإنما يتم على أن فعله يقتضي الوجوب. وأما حديث ليس من البر فإنما قاله صلى الله عليه وسلم في من شق عليه الصيام. نعم، يتم الاستدلال بتحريم الصوم في السفر على من شق عليه، فإنه إنما أفطر صلى الله عليه وسلم لقولهم إنهم قد شق عليهم الصيام، فالذين صاموا بعد ذلك وصفهم بأنهم عصاة. وأما جواز الإفطار وإن صام أكثر النهار فذهب أيضا إلى جوازه الجماهير، وعلق الشافعي القول به على صحة الحديث، وهذا إذا نوى الصيام في السفر. وأما إذا دخل فيه وهو مقيم ثم سافر في أثناء يومه فذهب الجمهور إلى أنه ليس له الإفطار، وأجازه أحمد وإسحاق وغيرهم وظاهر معهم لأنه مسافر. وأما الأفضل فذهبت الهدوية وأبو حنيفة والشافعي إلى أن الصوم أفضل للمسافر حيث لا مشقة عليه ولا ضرر، فإن تضرر فالفطر أفضل. وقال أحمد وإسحاق وآخرون الفطر أفضل مطلقا، واحتج بالأحاديث على احتج بها من قال لا يجزي الصوم. قالوا وتلك الأحاديث وان دلت على المنع، لكن حديث حمزة بن عمرو الآتي وقوله من أحب أن يصوم فلا جناح عليه أفاد بنفيه الجناح أنه لا بأس به، لا أنه محرم ولا أفضل. واحتج من قال بأن الصوم الأفضل أنه كان غالب فعله صلى الله عليه وسلم في أسفاره، ولا يخفى أنه لا بد من الدليل على الأكثرية. وتأولوا أحاديث المنع بأنه لمن شق عليه الصوم. وقال آخرون الصوم والإفطار سواء لتعادل الأحاديث في ذلك، وهو ظاهر حديث أنس سافرنا مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فلم يعب الصائم على المفطر ولا المفطر على الصائم، وظاهره التسوية. It says here in the commentary, with regards to these issues, the hadith teaches us that the traveling person can fast if he wants to, and the traveling person can what? Break his fast if he wants to. And the traveling person is also allowed to break his fast even if he fasted the majority of the day. That's what the hadith proves. That's what is extracted from this hadith. As far as the other hadiths and what the ulama said about those hadiths, then that's of greater detail. Another issue that we have here, is it permissible to fast when you travel, Abdul Wadud? Or is it haram and you must break your fast? Abdul Wadud, anyone else name that name in this masjid? Tayyib, Allah's name be praised. It's a good answer. Saying Allah knows best is a what? It's a good answer. There's no doubt about that. Tayyib. Anyone else? It's permissible.
Yes.
It's not haram. What do you say, Khalid?
It's not too difficult if you don't find it difficult.
Why would someone say that? Why would a scholar even say that? You can't fast when you're traveling. Why would someone even say that? Other hadiths such as what? How about this hadith? The Prophet ﷺ, he said they are the disobedient ones. Okay? You guys got this? Inshallah, everyone do some research on this. See what you come up with. We'll cover this, hopefully, this issue in the next hadith, in our next class. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should know us best. Jazakumullahu khairan.